Oh, yeah, that's
Fire it up!
Let's go. Let's go.
I deserve to be here.
Is it a winner's lag? I guess it is.
What do you mean? What is that? Is that even a question?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the winner's lag.
Let's go! Is this a winner's lounge? It's not a loser's lounge.
I mean, it's a winner's lounge, you guys.
Are
It's
you
a winner's
new?
lounge. Denver Nuggets pick up a road preseason win, 115-107. Man, I was worried we weren't going to get a lot to talk about. I was worried maybe it would be kind of boring. You know, we talked about things getting overhyped. Then Julian Strawther showed up to the game tonight.
Good old Julian Strawther.
Bang, 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 over and over again tonight. He was on
Mike
fire. Well, that's a little Mike Breen for you. And here to break it down, I got the fellas over here. Brendan Vogt.
Vibes are so high. I'll tell you what. Guess who didn't care about winning that game until the fourth quarter? This guy.
And
Guess
then-
who's really glad they won that game? I love it. I love it. And here's why. Winners of the postseason, your Denver Nuggets.
Yes.
Winners of the offseason, the Phoenix Suns.
They won the offseason.
Winners of the preseason, the Denver Nuggets.
That's right.
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
Hey, maybe in the second round. Maybe in the second round.
Over here, I got Harrison Wind.
It is great to be back. For all you guys in the chat wanting the funky music, act like you've been here before.
Yo,
Act
guys,
like you've been here
come
before.
on, This is so good. So
Preseason
good.
game number
Tell
one.
him, Win. Tell him.
Let's hold our horses a little bit.
We're
let's
excited to be here,
slow
too.
our roll. Like, we got a lot to talk about, but funky music,
I don't think
act
so.
like you've been here before.
And then, of course, rounding out the show, Superstar Dev.
It's going to be hard to play funky music after that because we're going to play it so many times.
know.
I know, man. We
Let
can't
the
wear
hits
it out.
roll all year. But
I've-
that was fun. It's great to be back. It's great to see live action, and it's going to be a year.
Man, it is going to be a year. I got to say, for a preseason game, I was joking because the win, loss, like, what does it really matter? But it was fun to get the win.
Yeah.
But in a preseason game, you want to see the young guys in particular shining. You wanted to see Peyton Watson play well. You wanted to see Julian Strawther play well. You wanted to see Zeke show a little fight. We got all of those things and more today. I'm not going to do a fast breakdown.
What?
I'm not going to do a fast breakdown of this game.
Can you give me a detailed breakdown on Bull's second half?
Here's what it started slow, but got a rhythm and then went on a big run. Peyton makes some spectacular plays. Picked up 3 fouls. Strawther rolling. Strawther stroking. 15 in the third for Strawther. Then I stopped taking notes because I'm like, what are
I
these
think
notes for?
that about sets the tone for what happened tonight.
That's more or less
Once
what
you
happened.
type Strawther stroking,
What else can I do?
got to go out on top.
Gotta stop there. Instead, I just think we get to big takeaways because I think there are enough of them to go around. Dev, I'll let you start off. What's your big takeaway?
That the champions continue to look like champions. That was a game that they just went in and they handled business. This is not a game, and I love the fact that even though their starters played, this was backup unit versus backup unit, and it was great to just see guys get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, it was nice to see guys get back into the swing of things.
Yeah. And to that point, man, like Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray only played one half tonight,
Yeah,
but I thought they looked more engaged than they would typically in a preseason game.
you talking about Yoke taking 11 shots?
That's what I'm talking about. Yoke taking 11 shots, like more shots than he took all of preseason last year in one game, in one half.
Yeah. I mean, he was on pace for 22 shots, which for him would be like,
Yeah.
he's only done that a handful of times. So, yeah, he was flinging them. 4 of 11, though.
Oh, maybe trade him.
Are we concerned?
Well, but, I mean, listen, when they added Yusuf Nurkic,
Yeah. I can't even do this bit for more than that. Harrison, what's your big takeaway?
It's Julian Strawther.
I know. I can't believe Dev
Wait, that was mine.
This is like when I play tic-tac-toe with my kids, and every now and then they don't take the center one. And I was like, what are you guys doing here? It's not that complicated. All right.
Hold on. I'm your child?
I said you're like...
He likes to think of us all as his children.
You guys really are. I do think of you guys as my children
there we
in a lot
go.
of ways. You guys know that.
Yeah.
No, Julian Strawther was incredible tonight. He was incredible. 20 points, 8 of 12 shooting, 4-7 from 3. I think he had 15 in the third. He was unbelievable. And what I liked most about Julian Strawther's game tonight is he didn't force anything. I really felt like he played within the flow of the offense. He played within the system. All the shots he took were good shots. Didn't force anything up. He moved the ball. He drove when there was a lane. And then defensively, I loved how he competed. I loved how he navigated around screens. I just loved his fundamentals, his positioning on defense. I mean, this was like an awesome game from Julian Strawther. Awesome.
It really was an awesome game. Like, honestly, I did not expect a single preseason game like this, let alone the very first one. 8 of 12 from the field. 4 of 7.
Got a couple of floaters.
And I don't think he hit rim tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think he hit rim on anything.
Can I tell you something? I think he is, just from watching him shoot,
the best shooter on the team.
I don't know.
Remember when we used to do that every 3 days?
Yeah,
I think it's Zeke.
Yeah, I think, but I do think that he is a really good swisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he swishes a lot.
He's just a pure shooter.
Just a pure shooter.
He
has
is
good
just
arc.
absolutely pure. 4-7 from 3. Also, though, 5 rebounds. I loved how he got on the glass.
Yeah, I love that point.
He was
Yep.
aggressive on the glass tonight. 3 assists. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't.
It was everything. Yeah,
he wasn't selfish with the ball. He made the extra pass a couple times.
Yep.
One time to Hunter Tyson in the corner who bricked a 3, but he made the extra pass. 0 turnovers, +8. And this was as close to a perfect game as, like, you honestly could have drawn up from anybody, and it came from a rookie.
Yeah. And to your point about the rebounding, my big note for him was that he looked big.
Yeah.
He looked big out there, man. Like, his size really stands out because some guys, like Justin Holiday, is long, but he's so skinny that it almost like disguises a little bit of his length, although I'll talk about him a little bit later. Strawther is like a good NBA body. He's not thick, but he's not skinny. He just looked big out there. More often than not tonight, I was looking out there and I was like, man, he's towering over people that he's going up against. What do you think of Strawther?
The work rate was so high, so particularly the motor off ball or when he didn't have the ball in his hands, whether that was defense, rebounding, repositioning himself, he was just active. He was just everywhere. And I think because his skill set coming into the NBA was so blatant, he is a shooter.
Yeah.
We quickly kind of pigeonholed him initially into just a shooter, and maybe that is who he'll be in the NBA, but that's not who he was tonight. He was more than just a shooter. I mean, you have to be encouraged by that performance. Have to be.
Yeah,
you guys said a lot of things that you just kind of did not expect from him, and I think that's what stands out the most. He made the extra pass.
Right.
He got the shot off very quickly, and that was with a guy in him, and he created some space. But he's also moving without the ball, so he did a lot of the things that you just wanted him to be, only a shooter, and that's all he was going to be. And we saw the floater, we seen the shots, we seen the extra pass, we seen high IQ. He really did play like a pretty complete game, and that's how you start out your career. You're going to earn some extra minutes with that.
Vogt, you got a big
I think I'm going to
takeaway?
surprise you guys with my big takeaway. New year, new me,
Oh, gosh.
new agenda. Just kidding. But you know who really impressed me tonight? Jamal Murray. I thought Jamal Murray looked really good. Now, and I mean physically, the way he was moving, his handle, but also how shifty he looked.
Yeah.
We're used to Jamal, I think, looking like he's coming out of the offseason this time of year, and it's preseason, whatever. But sometimes it takes him a while, I think, to play himself into that form physically. Maybe that will be the case this year, but tonight he looked shifty, he looked bouncy, there was sauce on the passes. I actually will open this up to all the starters. We expected this, but for whatever rust there was, the ball was moving, and I really liked their energy, and I liked the way AG played, KCP played, Jamal played. There was a crispness. There was a crispness to the ball movement, even if there was rust to shake off. But particularly Jamal physically, guys, I thought he looked really good tonight, and that's really encouraging to me.
And game high plus 12. He had 12 points, 5 assists. He grabbed a board. He had 2 steals. He did get knocked over. Oh, no, he got hit in the nuts. Remember we were trying to figure out what happened to him? Somebody said that's what happened. He got hit in the
I
nuts.
missed that.
Yeah, so we're worried that he might have hurt himself tonight. But I'm with you. I actually think him and Aaron Gordon both looked like really spry. I mean, Aaron Gordon's always looking athletic.
No, but he actually dominated on the boards. Aaron Gordon's first half, he took one shot and he had 7 rebounds and 3 assists.
Yeah.
And that's
Love
like an
that,
A+ Aaron Gordon.
He almost was going too hard, though.
Some would call him the soul of the team.
Yeah, a Mr. Nugget type
What
performance.
did you see out of Jamal today, Dev?
I seen him really facilitating like in different ways than we expect. He was doing some zip passes. He had a pass to the top of the key to Jokic that I have not seen him make that type of pass. But I really do think that he was making it a point to like facilitate only. And then also he's having a little bit of fun. He's doing step back threes, getting his feet set. On fast breaks, he's stopping for the three. And I just feel like he's just so confident right now that he's like, I don't have to do all those other things. I don't have to prove myself. I'm actually back to having fun. We've seen the tip layup that he put in, stopping on the break, and just really just a different start from last year where he had to prove himself and get back from that injury. So it was just great to see him in that type of zone.
Yeah, the distributing, like you mentioned, is what stood out to me. Because if you think back to the finals, that's where I think Jamal Murray's game took the biggest leap. Just him as the point guard, the facilitator, the table setter. I felt like in the playoffs, more than anything, he leveled up as that guy. And I feel like you saw that today. 5 assists, 0 turnovers in the first half. And he might have only been going 50%.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was doing whatever he wanted, going half speed.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. I think he looked good. I do think that this for Jokic and Murray and Gordon, even for KCP, it was they took it serious. They went hard, but they also just went smooth. It wasn't like they were going like, other than Aaron Gordon, who was kind of jumping all over, grabbing rebounds. They just looked like this game is easy for him, man. The game comes easy to him.
And I think it's kind of a continuation of what we saw in training camp. Last year, coming into training camp, there was some grouchiness, some just malaise. This year, we sensed out in San Diego that everybody was energized. Everybody was happy to be there and get started. And tonight, just how seriously Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray took this game compared to how they treat preseason games usually in years past, I think there might be something there.
And there's early returns, and it's too early for us to make a declaration, but there are early returns that this team really is ready to not make a statement, because I don't think it's that.
There's a seriousness to it.
That they believe that this is their league, not just because they just won a title. Yeah, but it's not just, we won a title. It's like, no, this is our league. Everybody getting, and there just is that approach. It just feels that kind of energy coming from the team out of camp.
It's almost like we're ready for this.
We're ready for this is sort of, you know what? I think it's kind of the energy. My big takeaway, guys, 2 thoughts, but they're connected. Today, I thought the Nuggets looked really big. And you talk about adding Justin Holiday, you add Strawther, you add Peyton Watson, who, even though he was there, now he's in the rotation and playing tonight. Hunter Tyson. They looked really big at the wing, just a lot of wings. I remember talking to Calvin when he first got the job a year ago, and he mentioned how important wings are in the league. Like, we got to get wings, we got to get wings. 1 year later, 2 off seasons, but 1 year later, I'm looking and I'm like, Denver's got a lot of tall guys, man. They're a big team.
And a 6'10" guy was not out there tonight.
And there was another tall, lanky wing that just kind of fits the bill. And to me, it's basketball is simpler than people think. I really believe this. And length is one really big part of it. But the other part, I said there are 2 thoughts and it's connected. There's no knuckleheads, man. And like, I know that sounds ridiculous to say. This team, the rookies are just mature. The team is mature. And tonight was a mature game. There was no Bol minutes for Denver. And I'm not trying to like just dunk on Bol, but like Bol goes out there, he gets yanked in 30 seconds, right, for them or this, that. And in years past, you got a young guy who's like, okay, this guy's clearly young. You know, Pickett, Tyson, Strawther, those guys didn't look younger than the rest of the guys on the court tonight. They just looked like inexperienced, but they didn't look, silly or goofy or any of that. So Denver, the roster today looked really long, really mature. And I just think it's underappreciated how much that elevates the floor from which you start when your roster is full of those guys.
Yeah. And I think you can circle back to Strawther with that. I mean, he's the youngest of the 3 rookies, but he still came into this thing really experienced and from a pro-style system at Gonzaga. And watching him tonight, he just looks like an NBA player. He moves around like an NBA guy. He knows where to be. Just like his fluidity, just where he positions himself, how he moves in the offense and on defense. He's got a mature game. You know, he just knows basketball and he knows how to play.
Yeah, the big thing is like maturity that you guys talk about, but also the big change has to be like the culture. These guys are a lot older, and it's just a different type of bunch than what we're used to. There was like good, talented players, but also there was those live wire type players. There's Bo. There was Bones when he came around. Like those players that were just so different than the norm, but they were excited to see them. Yep. Now it's like this is a group, this is a bunch, and are they going to play Nuggets style of basketball, or is there going to be a guy that's just so much better, so much different than what we're used to in a Michael Porter Jr. and things like that? So this is different. You're seeing the length, you're seeing the maturity, you're seeing the age show itself. So it's just great to see it right after a championship run.
And when you say length, when we talk about this length part, that's how I see Justin Holiday fitting into this team, and that's where he popped tonight. I don't know if he actually.
I actually think on both accounts, like the length and the just like he knows where
and the
to
maturity.
be. He's not a goofball.
Yeah, he's a journeyman. He's been around for a long time. He's a vet, and then he's long. And so I think he only had one steal tonight and one block, but it felt like he was involved in maybe even more.
That's actually a lot though for half a game.
No,
One steal, one block?
well, I only say one because I bet if we could see deflections, there's more. Right? I just felt like he was involved in the first half. That's how he got involved. Broke up a couple passes, was switchable, and just quick hands. So I think that's his route to finding a role with this group. Is he's long. He's in theory switchable on defense, and he looks like he knows how to stay within his role.
Another big takeaway, I feel like my eyesight's getting worse.
Yeah, I could tell.
That happens when you get older.
Yeah.
The undershirt for Reggie and KCP.
Couldn't tell them apart.
That threw you off.
And Justin wearing the same number as Davon and like the same leg sleeves too, man. It's rough.
I was struggling out there today. It's not as bad. Before I got LASIK, there was a time, I think we were watching the Heat. No, maybe it was the Heat. And I remember I was like, is that LeBron? It was Mike Miller.
You're kidding.
That's when I decided. I was like, I got to get LASIK, man.
Damn, I mean, how were you like allowed to drive?
Yeah. That's
looking at it like, come on, man, what's going on here? These are some fantastic first takeaways, man. Big takeaways.
We've missed one, man.
What is it? Do you want to say it for the other side?
Yes,
Let's get a break. Let's get a break in on the other side. Another big takeaway.
All the Nuggets are good.
Let's go.
Guys, if you're planning a trip to Vegas, looking for a hotel to stay, browsing prices, looking at the hotels on the Strip, forget about that. Check out Circa Resort and Casino. We all stayed there at Summer League or during Summer League. We loved it. Super nice hotel. Awesome casino. They got everything you want.
I want the Nuggets to win the in-season tournament just so we can go back to Circa.
Oh man, yeah, we can go to Victory Burger.
Little Circa, right in the middle of December.
Dev's probably gonna be there no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm already there.
Like, actually, I've already booked.
Are you guys coming?
You guys aren't emceeing that event? I thought that was a group.
Dev's already booked his stay with code DNVR20. You get 20% off your stay at Circa Resort and Casino. They've got stadium swim, their huge pool, huge TVs out there. Best place to watch a sporting event. The casino, like I said, they got everything you need. And the rooms at Circa are so nice. They're brand new, nicer than probably any hotel you're staying in on the Strip. So book your stay at Circa Resort and Casino. 20% off with the code DNVR20. You can use that when you're booking your stay at Circa Resort and Casino.
Hey, you've heard us talk about the 4 for 4s, the real ones, the diest of harders. Our 5 for 5ers. Colorado Rapids Fan Appreciation Night is coming up. Tickets are on sale now for the final Rapids home game of the 2023 season on October 21st, playing against those longtime rivals, Real Salt Lake. And the Rapids will be celebrating Fan Appreciation Night. Throughout the game, the Rapids will be thanking the fans for their support with giveaways, celebrations, and more. It is not too late. Secure your ticket now. Head over to coloradorapids.com/DNVR to learn more and buy your tickets today.
There we go. And we are back. All right, you have another big takeaway?
Well, we got to talk about
Is
Zeke
that allowed?
Naji.
Okay, we'll allow it.
We got to talk about Zeke Naji.
Is that a big takeaway?
Well, no, but it's the next thing we need
All right,
to
we're going to talk about players now. Let's talk about Zeke.
You guys, Zeke Najee had 17 points tonight. He was 5 of 8 from the floor, 6 of 7 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, and really played a big role in closing this game out.
A steal and a block. He actually got he got every single stat today, including 1 turnover and 1 foul. But he had everything: a rebound, an assist, a steal, a block,
and a dunk on Bull. So
a 3, a free throw of 2.
There were some things he did well in the first half, and then it got going in the second half. We have said this so many times. With Zeke, it is a story of either, tenacity or tentativeness, right? And when it's the latter, he struggles, and when it's the former, he's got a shot. And I liked the way he took it at Bull tonight, and I just thought he played with a little tenacity in the second half. And I'm pretty skeptical about Zeke this season, fellas. It's of the things going on in Nugget land. It's low, but tonight was a good start and a good step in the right direction. Plus 11, 17 points in 21 minutes.
That's he's just such a respectful young man. He just seems like
he's a great kid.
He wouldn't step on a bug or anything. Like he captures like bees and like lets them out, and just a nice guy. But really, if he had that tenacity, like, you would see these type of performances. He was taking it to Bull. No trash talking or anything like that.
But personal.
That was a personal battle on both sides. Like Bull is like just a little bit more open about how he plays. He has a bit more tenacity, but he's really soft. He's a frail guy. But Zeke was playing pretty tough. He had that blow-by dunk on. He's grabbing boards. He's playing hard. And we see these type of stretches until, like, there's an injury that, derails him or slows him down. But when he can put it together consistently, it's going to be hard to take him off of the floor because he does produce when he gets that time. So it was great to see him get started like this and just have a good game.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of positives to take from Zeke's game, I thought. And I liked how, even though I don't think he started off this game great, there were a couple plays early where you're like, oh, it might still be the same old Zeke. But it didn't get him down.
Right.
I felt like he bounced back from that really well over the rest of the game. And then, got aggressive at times in the second half. And, his shot looked good tonight. 1 of 2 from 3. 6 of 7 from the line.
Looked a lot more comfortable coming out.
5 of 8 overall. And when we were out in San Diego during summer league, we spoke to a guy on the Nuggets staff, Mike Penberthy, who's been working with Zeke as his shooting coach these last couple of years, remaking his jump shot. He's really been Zeke's guy. And I mean, he's pretty confident that Zeke right now is going to be a much more consistent shooter than he's ever been. And based off what we saw tonight, like, I was encouraged. Overall, I was encouraged by what Zeke Najee did. 6 rebounds, led the team in rebounds other than Aaron Gordon, led the bench in rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds. He was aggressive when he needed to be. I'd still like to see him, finish stronger inside, just be more of a true big man in that sense. But I think it was a positive night for him.
Well said.
I do think it was a positive night. And I got to say, he missed his 3 early on, took another one almost immediately after that. And to me, that was a good sign because I do think that Zeke is a guy that needs some momentum with his confidence from his 3, but seeing him kind of go right back into it, I just love to see it. The next guy I want to talk about is Justin Holiday, because one of my takeaways from the game from the early on was he filled in for Michael Porter, and there's 2 types of guys that fill in. Guys that like Bruce or this or that, or maybe those guys contribute. Maybe there's a third type like that, the big positive guys. But guys that fit in, seamless. And then you got guys that are like the Torrey Craig mold, where it's like, okay, he's out there, but it's a little frustrating, a little this. I thought Justin Holiday today was the first type. He just fit in. It wasn't a distraction. His length really stood out. He captured some of the Michael Porter lengthiness just to that front first unit. And while he didn't do anything spectacular, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. What did he do? A little bit of everything, which is, if you're filling in, just fill the gaps, man. He filled all of the gaps today.
I mean, he's a guy that definitely understands his role. And, I mean, they threw him a bone early on. So you don't have to prove yourself. You come straight over, and you've been around the league. He's been bouncing around. So he understands, the whole situation, the whole game. So it's pretty easy to fit in when you jump into, the champions right now. You also have guys that are playing for each other, and also they're going to get you involved. I'm sure that if he plays on another team, a different team, and they play a different way, he's not getting any shots up. Or he's going to have to prove himself and get all of the shots up. This one was like, okay, I'm just going to let the game come to me and just play the right way. And that's what you need in these situations, because he is going to have to play some nights. And he's going to have to, step up in different ways. And he's shown that he could fit in seamlessly.
Yeah, he was a seamless fit. He didn't stand in or stand out. And it was honestly exactly what I thought Justin Holiday was going to do.
Really? Like before this last week, or you mean like over the summer?
I mean, like my idea of Justin Holiday as a player was exactly this. Like, this is him.
I'm a little surprised by that, because at the signing, it was more of like, I just feel like the mood between all of us was more of a, Ish Smith, like a guy that's like, he's not going to play. If he is playing, what a disaster. And I think the momentum over the last week has been, no, this is a guy that might actually fit in. And that was my takeaway today. Again, I don't think he's saving you, but I think he to me projects as a guy that is just very competent.
Yeah, I mean, kind of in a similar way to Ish Smith, I think. Like, when Ish Smith got in the game, you just knew what you were getting from him. And I think it's the same way with Justin. I'm a little, I guess, behind you on just thinking he's going to be a positive contributor if he's out there.
Well, I just think he's going to mostly be with the bench, and I don't think that type of contribution helps the bench, because again, he's a guy that's not going to screw it up, and your first unit is good.
Yeah,
if he's not going to screw it up with the second unit might not be good.
Like,
so
I don't think he's necessarily a great shooter. Even though we've heard he shot the ball well, he
One
hasn't
of
been
four tonight.
He hasn't really been a great shooter throughout the last few years of his career. That the proof isn't there.
Somebody asked him like what he's better at now, and he was like, "Shooting? Am I better at shooting? I don't know."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, well."
I mean, defensively, I think he's solid. I don't think he's like above average necessarily. I think he's solid. So I think he can look good in a starting unit because he just doesn't have to do too much.
Right.
But I mean, this is Justin Holiday. I think he's fine, and I think he'll be fine for the most of the season.
We joked about him kind of being in that Jeff Green role. Here's one way where I think that's really going to manifest. Jeff Green was almost better in spot starts than he was with the second unit, right? A guy who could, if the fifth guy wasn't playing that night, he could join the starters, do the right stuff, stay out of the way. I think that very much applies to Justin Holiday. In this case, spot starting, it looked like a good fit. To your point, does that buoy a second unit that doesn't have all that stuff? Maybe not.
Right.
But the spot starts, at least you can talk yourself into the length. This is a little easily overstated. Preseason game, he was 2 of 6, 1 of 4. Agreed the shot didn't look good. I don't know how high the floor will be, but the path, like the length and him being a disruptor in that way, you can see it, and you saw it tonight, and it's encouraging.
The next guy, and I can't believe, I actually should have gone here earlier, but Peyton Watson today, 20 minutes, he gets 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 6 fouls. Fouls out.
I didn't even notice he fouled out.
And in 6 fouls in 20 minutes. I remember in Summer League, Peyton Watson fouled a lot as well in Summer League.
It's something to track.
It is something to track. It's sort of with the way he plays. I will say this, a little bit of a mixed bag, but I thought the good parts of Peyton Watson really popped today. Like, how much ground he covers, how athletic he looks, getting his hand on plays, just deflecting things. I don't know. I was pretty impressed with Peyton today.
Yeah, I think Peyton is just like a natural alpha. Like, he just stands out every time that he's on the court. And they made sure to give him the ball and like let him do everything. And that's what's great about Peyton. He can put the ball on the floor. He showed that he can space the floor with his threes, but also it's the defense that's going to put him on the floor and keep him on the floor. And he has some plays tonight that popped, and that's why he has those 6 fouls. He's trying to block everything.
Yeah,
he is everywhere on the floor, and he covers so much ground. Like, his length is a needed addition, and this is a year that he's going to play a lot more. So you want to see those encouraging play. And I think that tonight was encouraging play, despite the fact that he had the fouls. But if he just sticks to his bread and butter, he's going to be able to play this year.
Yeah. I thought there were a lot of great things about Peyton's night. Overall, though, he still looks really raw to me.
Oh, yeah.
And even when you're comparing him to a guy like Julian Strawther, like Strawther looks
for sure
more composed almost. Just
3-year college player, though.
Yeah.
Versus a 1 year basically on the bench guy.
Right. But I mean, Peyton played most of the season in the G League. Like, he got a lot of run there. I got to experiment and explore his game a lot there. So he still looks really raw, and he probably should.
Right.
To your point, the rookies are older, and Peyton Watson is still the youngest guy on the team. He is, I guess, the most inexperienced still. That being said, his shot looked good tonight.
2 of 3 from the three-point line.
All 3 of his three-point attempts, the form looked good. It looked smooth. He hit 2 of them, and then the other one just rattled out. And, I mean, you can just... It's not hard to see the vision, Adam. Like, you can see what the final product, the finished product of Peyton Watson would look like, and he can be a game changer defensively.
I think that is how you would frame it as a good to great night for Peyton Watson. He showcased the things we hoped he would. He was trying to do the things we hoped we would. And even the fouls, which I think is a real thing. And again, you say the word raw, youngest player on the roster. This is how it manifests, right? Peyton, a defensive playmaker, but not a Christian Brown, as we said earlier, right? He will be in the wrong spot sometimes. He'll get a little aggressive. He'll gamble when he shouldn't, but he's a playmaker. And I think as of right now, the fouls are actually a symptom of him trying to make plays on defense, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. If it's a symptom of his effort and his approach where it's, I can get stops and then I'm going to be a terror in transition, I think that's the right place for his head to be at. Cleaning it up, not fouling as much, that stuff I think you can hope and expect he cleans up as he gets older. But for now, I think I'm okay with him having 6 fouls in this preseason game because of what he was trying to do. That's the right way that Peyton Watson can be effective for the Denver Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still liked what I saw from him tonight, though. And, I've said on the show several times, I'm a little bit more skeptical of him as I think the talent is there, but I'm skeptical. Like, a lot of things are going to have to come together. To me tonight, relative to what I would say an average PWAT performance that I've seen so far, mostly that's like G League and Summer League, I actually was more impressed than typical, just because those big plays did pop to me, and you kind of see it with him on those types of things.
And also, he, like a lot of the guys coming off the bench tonight, played within himself. He didn't force anything, PWAT. And that's something we've seen in the past. Maybe it's at Summer League. I remember in the scrimmage we watched on Friday in San Diego at training camp, he dribbled into a crowd, turned it over, just trying to make something out of nothing. I liked how just calm and composed he played tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I completely forgot my point as I started talking.
Let's move on really quickly. The only other guy to me that I think, like Hunter Tyson had a rough night tonight, I thought. He got 0 points. He went 0 of 6, including 0 of 4 from 3, and he had his looks. They just didn't go down for him tonight. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. I don't really have a ton of Hunter Tyson notes. Do you have a Hunter Tyson note?
I do not.
You
just want him to, step out, especially if he's getting, all of the attention from training camp.
We could probably just slow the Larry Bird comp
there it goes.
Just a
tiny bit. Don't want to dismiss it entirely. Just slow it a tiny bit.
And it's only one game. He is going to bounce back and he's going to play better.
I wonder if the lights got a little bright.
No, my gosh, I'm not going to do this one. I will say the ball didn't really find him. That was one of the things I would say is he missed shots early, and then he kind of disappeared for a middle period where I was like, the ball found him on one play, and I was like, oh, Hunter's out there?
But, finishes with 4 boards and 2 assists. And
he also led the team in minutes tonight.
He's a +7 in those minutes.
So he was there the whole time.
He's never
just disappeared
out.
But he's going to have he's never going to stop playing hard. And that will go a long way to earning Michael Malone's circle of trust. Can I actually really quick want to go back to Peyton really, really quick?
Sure.
You said he doesn't force it. There's one way in which he does, and I like it. In transition,
he does.
Peyton only sees the rim.
Yeah.
He does not see his teammates. But I'm okay with that.
He draws fouls, man.
That's what Peyton forcing it looks like. And I don't think he should necessarily interject himself to into half-court possessions where he doesn't belong. But if he gets a stop and a board, I think he should have the green light to run. Transition points will be key for this team, and I think that's where Peyton can go, I call my own number, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. The only other guy for me that I want to talk about, surprise, surprise, I actually really like Jalen Pickett's game tonight. Now, the stats aren't there. 5 points, 1 assist, 1 block. How do you have a block? They called that a block on
what play was it?
The Bol. He blocked Bol.
Oh, yeah.
It should have been a steal, I think, right? And
I think it was
like
steal.
in the shooting motion or whatever. But he probably had 3 or 4 assists for fouls, like all to Zeke Najee's free throws tonight were Pickett feeding him. I actually thought Pickett did a phenomenal job getting into the paint, finding guys, and just creating things. It does suck that he spent about half the time playing alongside Colin Gillespie.
Nuggets can't
tonight.
quit it, man.
They just can't quit.
Summer League preseason, they have to play Gillespie
They don't
and Pickett
want him
together.
to be the true point
They
guard.
don't.
That's what it is. They want him to play off ball. Maybe Pickett.
That's wild. That's not true.
Maybe it's what he wants. No, that has to be. He only plays with Gillespie, who has the ball in his hand most of the time. So like
there's no way.
But maybe it's more so they want him to play alongside Murray. But like there has to be something to him always having a guard.
Or
next
it's
to him.
just they have 2 point guards at the end of their bench,
think
and
that's
one of
that.
them they wish was a shooting guard.
Yeah, I think that's more it. But I'm telling you, I don't think the numbers are going to stick out. But I just thought Pickett had a lot of plays where he set the table, and they almost all ended in fouls. And which is great, but it just won't
Zeke's
show up.
best friend out there for sure.
No,
Zeke's best
I'm
friend.
with you, man. Pickett looked nice.
I will say I think he looked like the second best point guard on the team tonight because
Yep.
I thought the one guy who, other than Hunter Tyson, that really stood out tonight in a bad way. I just thought it was a rough night for Reggie Jackson. He did get 14 points, and you know what's funny? He finished 5 of 11, including 3 of 5 from 3. Actually, pretty efficient night.
Hey, man, if you're getting 14 points from your point guard on this bench,
Yeah.
that might be okay,
Yeah, the shot making was fine.
regardless of how it happens.
The shot making was fine, and we know he can do that night in, night out. I think you buckle up for some of those same shots missing sometimes, but the truth is, it's the 3 assists to 4 turnovers, and 4 almost feels light. I just don't think Reggie Jackson has impressed me at all as a passer in any capacity.
You guys are being so nice. So like I used to make my high school coach like frustrated. He would have made him break his damn clipboard. He does some of the things that I'm just like, where did that come from? Like there was a play that he could have made that just a basic pass that would have been a layup. There's 2 guys open. He just went down the middle and it just rolled out of bounds. And I'm like, how does a veteran make that type of play? So you want him to calm down a bit. I just feel like it's always jitters with Reggie, and then he makes these type of plays or he scores where it just kind of covers up all of the bad that just happened. Like he just erases those things, but it's still frustrating because if he gets rid of those, it is going to be a backup point guard that you really need this year. So it's just those small things.
Yeah. He did shoot the ball well, though. I mean, he had a couple tough shots.
He did. He shot the ball well. The 4 turnovers just can't have that.
All right, let's take a break. On the other side, there was some sad news today with Coach Malone that I think we mentioned in the pregame, but I do think it's worth kind of revisiting. And then later in the show, we'll get to ESPN has the rank out. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Player ranks starting to drop.
Rankings or tiers?
Nope, this one's a ranking, straight ranking.
Baby, let's go.
You'll never guess where Michael Porter is and who he's behind.
What?
Guys, take on the sun with gear built to last with Shady Rays. Our friends at Shady Rays, they've got you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at affordable prices. Shady Rays, you can go to their website, shadyrays.com, browse their entire selection, no matter what style, color, type of sunglass you wear. Shady Rays has it. And they probably have it for a lot cheaper than some of those other brands you're shopping with. You can also check out Shady Rays in person if you're local here in Denver. They have a location at Park Meadows Mall. ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR. Get 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Shady Rays rated 5 stars by 250,000 people. Go to ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR there, or you can shop in person here in Denver at Park Meadows Mall.
I always go to the go-to spot for Buddy's Burritos and Beer, Illegal Pete's. And I'm always thinking to myself, man, it's so dope here. Could it get doper? Well, we know Illegal Pete's pairs well with some things. How about the queso pen, which is now available in select. Oh, buckle up. It doesn't taste like queso.
It doesn't. There's a strand of weed that's known as cheese.
That's known as cheese. And it pairs very nicely with Illegal Pete's. And you'll find it in select Denver area.
You don't know about this?
Oh,
Illegal
Win.
Pete's, they
Listen
did,
up,
though?
buddy.
Yeah.
Listen up. Available in select Denver area dispensaries from September 20th through October
Illegal Pete's
31st.
has their own strand now.
And
AKA
it's
right
queso?
now. It's Illegal Pete's and Open.
It's not flavored, no. It's not flavored.
Illegal Pete's and Open, 2 old school Denver brands that have been connected for over 10 years, but they finally got the opportunity to officially partner on this killer cartridge. Keep your eyes out for potentially more ambitious partnerships between these two, but just know that customers who purchase one of the cartridges can bring the box into any Illegal Pete's location and redeem a free small chip plus queso.
All right, back here. This morning, news dropped that Michael Malone's father, Brendan Malone, passed away. If you don't know, Brendan Malone is a lifer as a basketball coach. The same way Michael Malone talks about, I am a lifer. And I was thinking about this earlier. His first job as a coach was in 1967. He was at Power Memorial. I'm on Wikipedia right now. Power Memorial Academy as a JV coach.
Do you know who played at Power Memorial?
Let me hear it.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow, really?
Power Memorial is a powerhouse New York City high school program. And Lou Alcindor played there.
Which, by the way, like, if you think about Michael Malone and what we know about him, the things that are actually, I would say, obvious about him, he is a traditionalist. He just tradition and history, and those roots run deep. So to me, it's not surprising to know that his father coached at a place that has roots that go back there. That's part of who Malone is. He coached at Fordham. Then he went to Yale, Syracuse, Rhode Island, made the jump to the NBA, coaches the New York Knicks as an assistant coach in 1986 through 1988. Goes to the Pistons, the Bad Boys Pistons. He goes to the Toronto Raptors, the New York Knicks again, the Pacers, the Knicks again, the Cavs.
You can't quit those Knicks.
You can't quit those Knicks, baby. And then the Cavs. And then not everybody knows this. I think he was like the second coach LeBron James ever played for. Was it Silas? I think the first coach gets fired, and then he fills in at the end of the year as the interim head coach and coaches LeBron James there for a short stint. He's with the Magic as an assistant, and then assistant all the way until 2016 with the Detroit Pistons. What we know about Michael Malone, he references his father probably more than any person I know references their father.
I think that might be true.
So it's kind of funny how today when I heard the news, I'm not funny, but today when I heard the news, I was really sad. It was when I never met Brendan Malone, but I was really sad in part just because the connection we have to Michael Malone, covering him all these years. And then also I just started thinking, like, I know how much that one means to him. Because if you can trace, again, this history back, basketball is only 130 years old. The Malone branch goes back half of that, coaching in basketball. And I know that so much of who Michael Malone is, even without having met Brendan, I just know how much, that means to him, and how much of who he is can be traced back to his father. So to me, it's a kind of a big storyline. I was talking to D-Line earlier. He was saying, is this like an ominous sign or this or that? And I said, no, it's not. To me, it's not. It's a part of life, but it is a thing to me that is like, it is a sad thing that I think will texture the season in many ways.
Yeah, no, all of that for sure. And I'm with you. I felt just an overall sadness as well, mainly because of how much Michael Malone references his father and how much that his coaching philosophies, and so much of who Michael Malone is as a coach obviously came from his father. And this is going to tear him up. He's obviously not with the team right now. Like, this is big. And I just felt like a general sadness. And Brendan Malone is one of the more legendary NBA coaches that might never get talked about.
Like a legendary assistant coach. Yeah.
Yeah. The Bad Boys Pistons. I mean, a lot of people put a lot of credit on Brendan Malone for designing and implementing the Jordan rules.
Right.
He was the first head coach of the Toronto Raptors ever. When Toronto became an expansion team, they picked Brendan Malone to be their first ever head coach.
That's cool.
And he is a absolute basketball lifer. And I just think of Michael Malone as a mini Brendan Malone.
When you talk about a legend, I just go back to that summer league where they gave him his flowers, and everybody in the gym gave love, and there was a lot of coaches that came in, and it was just pretty quick. But Malone took that award on his behalf, and they played the memories and things like that, and he really did felt that, and he felt the respect that went around, and to lose that's going to be rough for him, and I know now that's going to continue to push him, this entire year and just moving forward, because that is who he is. He's a dad's coach, and he loves that. He tells it as, many times as possible. I grew up with my dad being a coach,
right,
and I learned that way. So yeah, to not have that is rough, and just prayers for that whole family.
Yeah.
Yet another reason to be so grateful the Denver Nuggets won the title last year.
Yep. Yep.
You talk about two lifers. Can you imagine a culmination event and
Nope,
life moment?
I can't.
Quite like that for Michael and Brendan Malone. To call it a proud father-son moment would be, I'm sure, an understatement. So our thoughts are with the family who would all prefer more time with him, but grateful that he got to see that. Grateful that Michael Malone's
it's really
a champion.
cool you got to see that.
Yeah. And that Malone was able to accept that text winner award on his behalf. And our thoughts are with the family for sure.
Yeah, and I like that you made that point because, ring night is exactly 2 weeks away from tonight. And I think that's going to be an extremely emotional night for Michael Malone for the reasons that you just mentioned, because it is a great story that a lifer gets to have his career, wins some championships, with the Pistons, gets to hand that off to his son and shepherd him through all of that, and then sort of concludes, his life, so to speak. He concludes it with seeing his son not just fully take the reins, which Michael Malone did a decade ago when he became a head coach, and then obviously through this era, but to conclude it with the championship, I think is a great story, a really cool story, and will make for an emotional night. And you guys will laugh because this is corny. I don't want this whole show, we still have another segment to do, but you guys will kind of laugh at this. The people that have been with us, in the off season know I brought up Wolf 21 the other day. I brought up Wolf 21, the greatest wolf that ever lived. Well, one of the cool stories about these wolves in Yellowstone, one of these cool stories is that I mentioned how Wolf 21 fought many battles over the course of his life and never lost a single one, and always spared the life of the wolves that he defeated. Well, he actually learned that from his adopted father, Wolf 8, who he witnessed do this. And what's cool is it's really a lesson in collaboration, and this lesson of those is like this bigger picture, right? These wolves, that was the descendant of this one little orphan one, then you get Wolf 21, and then all the younger wolves of Wolf 21 go on to lead these packs and carried similar characteristics. It's a very clear, in fact, there's almost two lineages of wolves that you could see in Yellowstone, and one of which is like a very violent, aggressive pack, and then you have the descendants of this one that are kind of have been a very successful and I would say collaborative and social pack. And it does make me think of these things about when these moments happen, you kind of reflect on how big things can be when you pass something on generation to generation. And when we talked the other day about Nuggets culture and Reggie Jackson being a ball boy for Colin Gillespie, a two-way player, you see that culture and stuff, and Vogt deserves an enormous amount of credit for that. I think Michael Malone deserves an enormous amount of credit for that. But one of the cool things about long-form storytelling is you see how much one or two people can start a culture that in just 8 years' time not only brings a championship, but somehow brings these journeymen from across the NBA into that culture, and then they absorb it, and then they spread that culture. And to me, that's kind of a really, really cool sort of life lesson from all of this stuff.
What was the name of your documentary?
100 Invisible Threads.
And I think basketball is a sport that is maybe younger than we realize sometimes in terms of its history, and a lot of it can all be traced back to only X amount of figures, right? Who were super influential, but just these threads between father and son, team to team, player to player, just people learning from each other, carrying it with them, and watching it culminate in this example, a title, a first ever title for an organization. That is some of the beautiful stuff that a life in basketball can provide and has provided this family. So glad he got to see it. Really, really, really bummed to hear the news, but tip of the hat to a legend for sure.
Imagine how lost Dev is hearing about these wolves.
Yeah, do you have thoughts on Wolf 21?
Yeah, which one's your favorite wolf?
Wolf 21 was pretty much the Jokic of wolves.
Of Wall Street.
That's it, Dev. Yep, that's it. Nailed
Proud
it.
he is of his answer. Close up on Dev over here. Come on, look how proud he is.
Y'all
Big old
seen
grin.
that one.
All right, let's take a break. On the other side, let's have some fun by riling up Brendan Vogt.
What?
There's disrespect on the internet for your boy.
You can't rile me up. That's not possible.
That's what you think.
Guys, when you get hurt, Backs and Shanker is here to help. Backs and Shanker wins for Colorado families. They've been winning for more than 25 years, and you don't pay Backs and Shanker any money until they win your case. No upfront fees, no fees while they work on your case. You only pay them when they win your case, and they win a lot. They've won over $1 billion for their clients. They've got neighborhood offices all over Denver. So call up these guys if you need representation. They help with all kinds of injury cases where you weren't at fault. Car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrian, trucks. They can even help you if you're injured at work.
Backus and Schenker tonight? Strawther and Zeke? Wow. Kind of a shocker.
Yeah, that is a shocker.
Well, you know what? They get it. Backus and Schenker.
Give them a call, 222-2222 to find out if you have a case for free. Backus and Schenker
I
wins.
thought 21 Wolves was called a pack.
Oh my gosh, Dev. I want to get you this book. I'm going to get you this book. You're going to love it, man.
I love books.
DNVR.
I just read a bird book. I love books.
I love
Damn,
books.
dude. You're going to
boy Flo.
jump me on the pecking order.
Got you that bird book. I forgot.
You got him a bird book?
I didn't. Flo got him a bird
Oh.
book.
And I still read it.
He's
still read
he's
it.
still reading it.
It's like a field guide. He's reading the
Flo
field
said
guide.
he's gonna ship me some duck confit. I gotta circle back on that.
Oh.
Duck-
Do you have a reader? Are we done?
No,
Are we
we're
back?
done.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
Duck
back.
confit.
But
I've
please
had
keep
a lot
going.
of it when I was in Paris.
Guys, ESPN dropped their player rank. And it's time to get big
There's
mad.
nothing left to be mad about, right?
There's nothing left to be
Yoke
mad
was the big
about.
star.
Just what I need to end this night, some rankings talk.
Yeah, man, we got to get into some rankings. First of all, I got to
Perfect.
say, I think the rankings this year have been the most absurd.
Oh, love it. Love it.
I'm telling you. You gotta humor me here, Win. Will you humor me? Just humor us for a segment
Love
here.
it. I know, I'm being 100% serious.
I'm sure you are. First of all, MPJ ahead of Kyle Kuzma, so let's not get too upset.
Nice.
This might be the first.
well, that's good.
So wait, is this a top 100?
Hold is top 100
I haven't seen these. Okay.
ahead of Tyler Hero. These are the guys he gets compared to. Winning a title.
Should Denver trade for Dame?
Winning a title, you get the guys that you're comp to. You move to the front, the S tier of
That's
the
right.
guys you
That's
get
how it
comp
should
to.
be.
Which I think is he's ahead of Jordan Clarkson, another guy. Chris Paul. I'm trying to scroll down here because I didn't have this written down. RJ Barrett. How is he so high? RJ Barrett
Because
is
he's
ahead of
on
all-
the Knicks,
Oh,
dude.
you're right. Walker Kessler got ranked 70, which is a little surprising. I mean, he's young. And then it goes Brooke Lopez at 69. Oh, it was so close.
Oh, man.
68.
That's where he belongs.
Michael Porter Jr.
All right.
68. Does that last year, by the way? 72. He won a title. Moved up
4 spots.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's positive movement. That he went in the right direction.
I will say, here's the thing that actually does bother me about it. The first line of the Michael Porter paragraph, and again, I gotta say something. I love Young Meek. I love it.
This is what you say when you're about to rip somebody.
I'm about to, but I'm telling you, I mean this sincerely. I love him. I think he's the best dude. He was out in San Diego.
I
Had a
love
good time.
him too.
I love
Great
him.
guy.
A king.
First
A king.
line.
One of the guys at ESPN I love.
One huge question for 2023-2024. Porter struggled with his shot in the NBA Finals. And I'm like, damn it, how is this the takeaway from MPJ had a very good year, a great playoffs. And every single thing that's been said or written about him in the previews of this season are he did not shoot the ball well in the finals. That's like,
But they're
damn.
not lying though, and
They're not.
you have to preface it just to because he was so low. Because if he did play well in the finals, he would have been what 50 something.
He
You
might
think
have
that
been.
was it? Is he was like awesome all year, all through the
Yeah.
playoffs, and then in the finals he didn't shoot well. And they're like, you know what? I thought he was better
Because you get the championship bump, but you have to play well in the championship.
But this is such a sneaky, great sign. What would how does that paragraph start last year, 2 years ago? Defense, will he stay on the floor? Where are we
Yeah.
at now?
Yeah, you're
Can
right.
he shoot?
Yeah, can he shoot?
Yeah.
He was literally asked that, by the way, at Media Day.
I'm not.
At Media Day, he was asked by someone, it was somebody in the crowd that was like, do you feel like you can still shoot or something? Like you're
And he tried to answer it thoughtfully, started laughing.
He's like, yeah, I think I can
Yeah,
still shoot.
that's a big turnaround, guys. Can Mike hit shots? It's
Yeah,
a new question.
You're right. If that is our
It's a
big
new
question
question.
for
Yeah,
Mike
if that's
this year,
the big
it's like,
question,
all
we
right,
should
we're
feel
good.
pretty
good.
good about
I
him,
feel
PJ.
good.
Yeah.
72 though, I will say there's no point in getting too mad, but it is
68.
great. 68. 67 OG Anunoby.
Come on, get the fuck out of here. That's actually hilarious. That's actually hilarious.
You know what? I would.
Oh no, Austin Reeves ahead
see.
of MPJ.
I want to see what OG Anunoby
Austin
shoots in the
Reeves.
freaking finals.
Yeah, for real.
It's actually hilarious that OG's there.
OG Anunoby shot great, 14%.
Austin Reeves.
well,
Austin
listen.
Reeves too. Is that one
Oh,
bothering
can we
you?
talk about yes, and here's why. We just talked about it. What was the early knock on MPJ, guys?
Can't guard.
Yeah.
It takes bad
It's
shots.
kind of hard to be like a third or fourth best player on a contender if you can't play defense.
Man, this is great.
But the contract vote.
Oh,
He's a
this is
guy.
great.
He's under a great contract.
Who looked like they had a harder time playing
Yeah,
defense in the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, that's a great take.
One guy got targeted every time he was on the floor. The other didn't.
Yeah. And, you know,
And it
a
was
lot of talk
internationally
about
known that he
MPJ
was
being
bad.
played off the floor at times throughout his career. I watched Austin Reeves get played off the international floor at times.
Bro.
Why? Because he couldn't defend.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting how those standards change, isn't it?
You want the best one. Here's
Yeah.
the best one and why player rankings are bad. If you are not the first or maybe second option on your team, it might be better to be bad than it is to
Right.
be a
Yep.
lower ranking. Jeremy Grant's 58th. Jeremy Grant is 58.
This is why Jeremy Grant went to Detroit
That's a
in the
fact.
first place. So he could be in the top 60 of player rankings.
This is my point. He made money, which again, you got to tip your hat. He's made a lot of money. And he's ranked ahead of Michael Porter. I'm sorry. Crazy to me.
That is
Insane to
crazy.
me that Jeremy
Well, listen,
Grant is that far ahead. He's 10 spots.
One of those guys wants to do what it takes to win a title, and the other wants to be in Detroit. Who would you rather have?
Yeah, that's a
Who
really
would
good
you
point.
rather have?
That's a really good point. Andrew Wiggins at 54. Interesting enough. Why do I bring that up? Andrew Wiggins is there. Who did I also just pass up? That was Jeremy Grant, Andrew Wiggins, and then you have to keep scrolling. Franz Wagner 52.
You're not upset about that.
I'm not too upset. 51. Aaron Gordon. Last year,
Love it.
83.
That's the championship bump, and he deserves it.
He got the
And he
championship.
Oh, they
deserves
should have
it.
gave him 50 just to be petty.
Just to be 50.
Oh, man,
You're
I would've
right.
just gave him 50.
They weren't. They'll never give him 50. They'll give him
They hate
49.
to do
they'll
it.
give
Aaron
him
Gordon,
51.
man. In 2 years, Aaron Gordon changed the entire perception around him as a basketball player. And it was all up to him.
Yep.
It was all his doing. He changed it.
Here's a good one though. I love. Again, I'm not knocking on the writer here, but he says, with key players Bruce Brown gone, could Gordon see an uptick in opportunities? And I just love this framing because again, the Nuggets have broken all the ways you talk about player rankings.
Yeah.
Can he see an uptick in opportunities? No. He's going to see the same opportunities, and guess what?
Right.
He's going to crush at them.
Yep.
There's no like, does Aaron Gordon need more shots or more touches or that? Absolutely not. He's already got them, and he plays them perfectly.
By the way, tonight, preseason, some key guys are out. Would you like some more shots? No, just one in the first
just
half.
one is all.
I'm actually good with 7 boards. Thank you very much.
Dude, Aaron Gordon is so locked in with Nikola Jokic now. AG is the one who only took one shot
right.
tonight in the preseason
He's
opener.
like, shooting is actually
They
bad.
weren't the Somborn. They just became one.
This is so good.
Yoke was like, brother, you only have to take one shot in the preseason.
Dev,
It can be a 3.
the year is 2026. The Nuggets have 4 straight titles. Michael Porter's ranked 71st. Aaron Gordon is 53rd. This is how it's going to be.
And I'll take it every single time. And I think that they'll be fine with it as well.
No question about it. So if you
What's
guys,
Jamal?
we're only at a 51.
Ah,
We're only, but if you remember last year, I think he was 50, right? And it was the injury. Like I kind of like Zion this year was like, what is Zion 57? Which again, fair, right? We haven't seen the dude play, but we know if he does play consistently,
gonna
he's
be
like he's way up there.
Where do you think he will go, Jamal? Top what? Like top. You don't got to go
You know
precise.
what? Here's
just
what I'll
top.
say about Jamal.
top 20.
I think Jamal is going to be higher than people think because a lot of these player rankings that came out over the summer had him like, you're like, oh, he's ahead of some guys I didn't think he'd be ahead of.
a lot of people think it's going to be the year of Jamal Murray.
Unbelievable.
It
Unbelievable.
just gets
A lot
better.
of people are saying that.
It's great takes. He's so straight. He's the straight man, but he's also like knows how to.
I don't know
the
if he
take.
is anymore, you know?
I don't know if he is
The
either.
win agenda is,
Is
hard
Drew
to...
or is Jamal Murray going to be above Drew Holiday?
Yes. Yeah. No
Is
question.
he going to be above Jalen Brown? I'd say yes.
I think yes. Those are the types of guys he's been ahead of lately.
Is he going to be above Damian Lillard? I'd say no.
No, and not Booker, but you know
Not
the guy
Booker.
Donovan Mitchell. He's
Yes.
going to be in the. I don't think he will be ahead. He'll be in the zone though. Yeah.
I think he might be.
Dude,
ahead
Donovan
of
Mitchell scored like 70 last year or something. Right? Like,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
way better than a championship, for rankings.
Yeah. What do you do in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, he didn't look so great. Anyway, all right, guys. First winners lounge of the season.
By
in
the way, having
books.
OG over MPJ is fucking insane.
Let's go.
But you could probably get 3 first round picks for OG.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
crap!
right.
Look at all these super
You'd be
chats.
surprised
My God.
which one of those guys doesn't want to play their role, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
what
might
do we
be
got?
surprised.
Richard, give me the funky music.
Richard,
$10 for that. Hell
Wait
yeah,
on
let's
it.
go. Let's
Wait
go,
on it,
baby.
bro.
David W. Tip for Jokic playing. Dev is back and the W.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Thank you, Dave.
Richard.
Again.
Is funky music the DNVR theme music?
That's it's our theme music, DNVR Nuggets, but you got to match the vibes, man. You got to match the vibes.
You know when it's supposed to be a funky music.
You just know. You just know.
Alejandro
Preseason game number one's not
Botello,
it.
what up, fellas? Need to show some love on the return of Nuggets basketball. I know it's early, but I might be ready to call every Nuggets good. Thoughts?
You know what? I think this might be the best year for every Nugget. All the Nuggets are good. I think it might be the best year.
I agree with that.
It might be.
55555-ish. Julian told us he still needs a nickname, right?
Oh, man,
I
we
like
do.
King Julian. I also like Jules because he
Jules
shined
is
like a
great.
diamond tonight. All the Nuggets are good.
Jules is really good. King Julian, I don't know.
That's a Madagascar reference, actually.
Yeah, if you spell Jules a little bit different, though, it'd be better. Like closer to his name.
Yeah, you're right. Jules, yeah. Like we're measuring. What do you measure joules?
That's energy?
Is it energy?
Energy
Yeah,
is
it's
measured in
energy.
joules.
Yeah.
Units of
There you go.
science.
So that's
Right.
that's what you meant, right?
You know, those jewels. I'm always hearing about them. Ariana Marshank, let the dynasty season begin.
Oh, let's
We're
dynasty
deep
season.
in the golden era.
We're deep in the golden era.
Revo, beautiful win. All the Nuggets are legends. Harrison Wind was looking clean in that number 21, too.
Got my first bucket tonight.
Who's number 21?
Steady Gillespie.
Oh, that's right. I don't know why I didn't just go to the white guy. I don't know why.
Yeah, the white dude.
Yeah.
The
Maybe
short
Christian
white dude.
Brown.
Joe Clem 15. Pickett already looks better than Reggie.
All right. You know what? I mean, that was a low bar tonight.
Seth Bang, basketball is too good. Fact. Who knew a preseason game could hit like that? Now buckle up. I've been carefully crafting and workshopping this. Super chat all show.
Read it. What is it?
Mountain basketball rocket new year.
Mile High Basketball. Rocketing up. New year. Soon. Strong. Yeah. Peace.
Back to back. Soon.
Oh, two. That's two.
Back to
soon,
back.
two.
Soon.
Back to back titles.
2 titles.
All right. Hit that outro music, Kale. Everybody, thanks
That
for
was a
hanging
great
out with
super
us.
chat. Wow.
It really was. Fellas,
What a great show.
the game was great, but just being back with you guys, really just Dev.
One
You guys
winner's
are-
lounge down.
What a treat.
4 plus 80, 86 more to go.
Let's go.
And then the playoffs.
No. 87.
Oh, we're winning the in-season
Yeah,
tournament.
I'm just saying if you play the in-season tournament, we got to get an extra game in
Plus
there.
16.
Everybody, that was fun. Let's do it again tomorrow. Hit the like button. We'll see you there.
We all silly like the mayor.